Let's go back live to ABC 57's Emily Pritchard. Again, she is live for us at Bethel College, where that processional will begin here at any moment. Emily?
Thanks, Brian. And you know, it's hard to believe it hasn't even been a week yet since we lost Assistant Fire Chief Jamie Middlebrook. And we know this funeral service today, it took about an hour and a half, but it's hard to even count or imagine the number of seconds or minutes that Jamie Middlebrook gave to not only the new Carlisle community, but the Michiana community as a whole, giving himself and, of course, giving up the ultimate sacrifice last Tuesday evening.
This spot along East Michigan Street, the fire station in New Carlisle, was a second home to 20-year veteran Assistant Fire Chief Jamie Middlebrook. Last Tuesday, Middlebrook left the station to fight his last fire. Crews were called to an excavating and septic business, KFEX, around 9 p.m. Eastern Time. That's near the St. Joseph-LaPorte County line. Luckily, no employees were inside, according to the owners. The flames at that pole barn, they were massive. Our cameras caught a fireball erupting from that building. And to fight those flames, 17 different departments across Michiana rushed to the scene. A mayday call did go out, and when the roof collapsed, 2 firefighters were reported missing. Firefighter Matt O'Donnell was found with a fracture to his right ankle and was treated at a hospital. The other, Jamie Middlebrook, never left the scene, giving his life to protect his community. The man, husband, son, and volunteer will always be remembered in this town and station he called home.
Here today at Bethel College, celebrating Middlebrook's life and everything he gave to the new Carlisle community. A strong message from the ceremony today is that of service, something that Middlebrook held very highly, and of course giving back. Brian?
And Emily, as we talk about his service, how about this? 22 years there at the fire department, following in his dad's footsteps. His dad served there, former chief, 40 years of fire service. Again, you mentioned earlier, boy, it's been 134 years since the new Carlisle Fire Department lost one of their own in the line of duty. Emily, you mentioned earlier that many of us have not seen something this profound. So many people coming together. We have service people, we have elected officials, we have strangers, people just in the community that are there showing their love, their support, and their honor before this procession begins. Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to believe how many people are truly here. I think it speaks highly of our community of Michiana and the new Carlisle community. You know, they're a tight-knit community, a smaller town, but, you know, really truly reaching out and touching the lives of many here. A call to action during the service of, you know, giving back to others and serving your community is something, you know, Jamie held high. And, you know, even with his fight with leukemia, you know, he really truly understood the meaning of life and living it to the fullest. And I think in the program it said, you know, if he would have been told that he would have lost his life battling a fire, that would have never have stopped him from being a firefighter and living his dream. It's something he truly loved and never wanted to give up.
Emily Pritchard live for us at Bethel College this morning. Emily, great job for us. Thank you so much. Emily Pritchard joins me now on the anchor desk. And Emily, you did such a great job for us. You, of course, were at Bethel College and outside as the processional was getting ready to take off. You were also in the overflow room and able to see the funeral service as well. What was profound to you about the service?
Well, I thought the most touching part about the service was almost a call to action for the rest of us to kind of not just live our lives every day, but to get out there and actually do something important and to serve others. I think that was a strong message today from Assistant Chief Jamie Middlebrook's funeral. I think Joe Donnelly said it best, you know, his mission was to serve, and he chose to serve. And even in the program, one of the sentences read that if Jamie would have known he would have died in a fire, that would not have stopped him from serving as Assistant Chief for New Carlisle. So I think that obviously touched a lot of people there today. You can just see for yourself the emotions in that room. As you said, I was in the overflow room, and still, you know, very strong emotions there. People, you know, holding each other and being with each other in a time of need, there to support each other, which I think the New Carlisle community has obviously shown us all how it's done and how to really step up and support each other. And I also we got in some new numbers on how many people were actually inside that room. Nearly 1,000 people there to honor Middlebrook. The numbers are breakdown about like this: approximately 160 emergency vehicles and fire apparatuses. Now, obviously, while I was there, I watched the procession leave, and the body was, engine 91 was the very last one to go out. And so, I was sitting there waiting, and I said to others, I almost thought I had missed engine 91 going by because so many had gone by, and in fact, 160, which obviously is a large number of just emergency vehicles there. 150 public safety were there, and then 100 family and the public was there. So a large number turning out to show their support for the Middlebrook family.
Yeah, we were taking a look at that live picture there out of New Carlisle, right in front of the fire department as the procession was coming through. I almost thought that maybe the engine would lead the pack, and so I kept looking for it. And
I
looking
myself
for
was,
it.
I thought I had tricked myself there at first, thinking I had missed it, but. Yeah. No, it definitely was, in the end, as it left Bethel, at least. I don't think they were making any lane changes on the way. And obviously, a live look on New Carlisle are starting to make their way through. The crazy side for me is, as I was looking down Logan, which is in Mishawaka, right outside of Bethel, outside of those gates, is, kind of an eerie, dreary day. Just to see all those flashing lights kind of echoing in the distance, a feeling of kind of gives you a comfort of public safety, and then also sadness, knowing what it meant.
It's amazing. You were talking too, and so was she, about how many fire trucks.
Right.
And you saw them from all over town, not just here locally, but all across the state.
Of course, the state of Indiana itself, and then Michigan. And, if you can think of a town in Michiana, a fire truck, if not one or two or three, was there. And then Chicago Fire Department I saw there. So obviously coming from all over our area to honor Jamie Middlebrook this morning.
Yeah, you said you even saw a fire truck from Chicago.
Right,
as
definitely.
Well. This is,
I was there on the corner of Bethel, right as it left campus, basically. And I was surrounded by a couple there, a few firefighters, some public safety, police officers and whatnot. And one woman was there, and she just she was clapping the whole time, and kept saying thank you, and smiling throughout. And it really was something to maybe uplift your spirits. Obviously, there are moments that are heartbreaking, but she really looked at it as a moment where the community was coming together, and she just kept saying thank you, and what a beautiful sight it was for all these people to be there. Now we're learning 160 emergency vehicles. I mean, it's just almost hard to fathom. That's bigger than most car lots. And we're looking at some of those images now coming of that procession, and for me, just to look down and see the rows and rows of flashing lights truly kind of hit me in my gut a little bit, watching that and kind of seeing them make a turn. And where I was at, a family of 5, 2 young kids, they had a sign, thank you, Jamie Middlebrook, and it does seem like a way for families to come together and kind of share in his memory.
Well, this is easily, and so this is hitting home for a lot of families and a lot of people today.
And you notice as they drive by in each of the truck, sometimes there's 2 in there, or 5 or 6, or however many they can cram inside of a fire truck. And some, they're just barely 18. It looks like they're so young, and others, who have been around the force, in their later life and have been around forever, and really veterans of the service industry. And we really just have to thank them. And yeah, it's one of those moments where, a job you don't know that you always come home from.
Good Monday afternoon, everyone. I'm Brian Dorman.
And I'm Emily Pritchard. Thanks for joining us this afternoon. We are interrupting our regularly scheduled program to take you to the honorary ceremony for Assistant Fire Chief Jamie Middlebrook. We're going to take you now live to the burial site, where that ceremony is just getting underway.
Cemetery.
Definitely emotional. And we've been dealing with the weather all day. It's been rainy and gloomy all morning, but now it's almost to be through here as he arrives back to his hometown, the place where he gave all his time and all his effort really to serve his community to the fullest.
Here is the flag that was draped over his casket being handed off to his wife, Julie. And Emily, you were telling us earlier that they were high school sweethearts.
Yeah, according to the program, and talk, of course, a lot at the service today. High school sweethearts that many said you could just feel the love between if you were in the same room with them. They'd always holding hands and always wanting to be near each other. And now, first, of course, that flag being presented, and now his helmet, of course, which he spent a lot of time in, and obviously a symbol of the service he gave to the New Carlisle community. And we know that the celebration of Middlebrook's life will not end for the New Carlisle community. They will, of course, continue to honor him as all of us in Michiana thank him for his service.
And we have been live with you all day long, starting around 11 o'clock this morning with the funeral service, and we were back on with the last call service there outside the fire department in New Carlisle as they paused for that very emotional sound of the final call. We will have that, of course, for you tonight on ABC 57 News starting at 5 o'clock. And then this, the cemetery coverage.